Today I'm going to share the best sports card take I've heard all year, and it's not even close. Stay tuned. Hello to all my sports card collector investors, all my collectibles friends. How are you doing? I hope it has been a good day for you. We're at Wednesday. I can't believe it. We're already halfway through the week. We are not sure if we're going to have our Thursday off-centered show with Brad, the comeback card investor. He's actually traveling to Mexico for some sort of a retreat. I have no idea. But he doesn't know if he's going to have adequate internet, so we are not sure if that's going to happen Thursday night. I will keep you posted. I hope we can still pull it off. Frankly, I just want to kind of see where he is and what he's doing. So hopefully that happens Thursday night. Special thank you again to Hobbypalooza. Bench Clear Media had me on last weekend. It was really fun. Did a live stream for an hour. Talked to the chat. Showed some PC cards, and it was a good time. So thank you very much again, Bench Clear Media, for having me. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. I was watching a live stream on YouTube the other night, and there was a take on there that I thought was awesome. And it just happened to be from one of my hobby friends, Flipping Steve. If you have not seen his YouTube channel yet, it's Flipping Steve. He does a Monday night live stream where essentially he goes on for a couple of hours and just kind of talks to his viewers, and they go through all sorts of different cards, different sports, just kind of talk all things hobby. It's really a good time. That's Monday nights. He does it. And this week he had a couple of guests on. I'll kind of set the stage. I'll throw up a picture too, just kind of give you a visual. But essentially it was Steve, Ryan, I think from Breakout Cards, Jeremy from Sports Cards Live, and Neo was on. Neo Cards and Comics, I think, is his new channel name. And they were essentially just kind of having different, conversation about various things. And one of the questions that came through was essentially around kind of the why behind PC acquisitions, why these cards are bought, like kind of like what are their thoughts. And they each kind of talked about different things that matter for them when making PC buys. And then Steve basically kind of rolled that into, I think he got kind of deep into thought there. And he was looking at, basically he was like, why do I buy rock and roll cards? Why do I have Cal Ripken cards, and why do I, have Tony Hawk cards of all things, and kind of going through some of the oddball cards that he has. And, essentially the answer was, I love music. I used to love skateboarding in my youth. And I used to go to Orioles games, he's local to that area, with his dad and his brother, and has amazing memories from those events. And so now look at him. And then, of course, Dan Marino cards. He's a big Dolphins fan and used to watch the Dolphins growing up. And, heartbreak, just like me as a New Orleans Saints fan, I can understand somewhat what he was going through as a Dolphins fan. But, and so it was very, very interesting. And then he essentially was, he made the comment, which I thought was absolutely awesome. He said, I realize the stuff that I PC is PCing memories, not cards. I'm PCing stories. And he made a comment of, basically, my PC card collection is kind of a mini story of my life. If you look at kind of the important parts of my youth, it's all stored there. And I think that is something that, of course, with a lot of channels, including myself, we do focus heavily on price points and kind of where prices are. And I think that's really important, whether you're a collector, investor, whatever, flipper. It's important to know where price points are, because again, whether you are just collecting that thing and for the rest of your life, or you're flipping it next week, it's important to know where price points are, and they move up and down. And that's kind of a fun thing to follow. And we all love watching that content. But this is really the meat on the bone here. This is kind of the why behind a lot of collecting, and whether this be cards or comics or anything that you collect, a lot of it is based in your childhood. It's based in nostalgia, from your youth. And I just think that was amazing for Steve to put it that way. He's piecing memories, and there is so much to that. I mean, for myself, my parents were divorced when I was 11, and some of the best memories I have previous to that event was collecting cards with my buddies, Alan and David, obviously, playing outside, playing sports together. And then also it was all about sports cards. And that was what you did in the late 80s and early 90s. That was kind of what every kid did, every boy, definitely. It was the thing to do. And then really kind of post that event, post the divorce, it was a coping mechanism for me. It was something that took my mind off of maybe a tough time and helped me get through that. So as I kind of come back to the hobby, I'm reminded of kind of what it was there for. It was the players and it was the cards, but it was also memories of good times and really a really fun hobby that not only was fun in its own right, but then also was very helpful during kind of dark periods as well, tough times. And I think that sometimes is lost in a lot of this is the why behind the collector. And it can be different for anybody. It can be different for everybody. It all depends on so many different factors, and everybody's got a story. I'm really glad that Steve shared it because it was so profound and just so, so basic and simple, but also just so true though, because it gets really to the heart, the crux of all of this, where everything stems from that. It's the why behind the collector. And so I really enjoyed hearing him say that and just kind of learning more about his journey, buying and selling cards. And it makes so much sense because I always you wonder, like, why do you collect this player? Why do you collect that team? And this is the reason why for that. These are those moments that share those. So guys, thank you very much for joining. What is your collecting story? Why do you collect the players you do or the teams you do or the Pokemon characters that you do or the comic books you do? What is your why behind it? This is some of the most fun I have in this collectibles world, in this collectibles hobby, is learning what everyone's collecting and why they do so. I think it's awesome. So guys, have an amazing Wednesday. Let's get through the rest of this week. We're almost to the weekend. We're almost there. Let's get over the hump and get to it. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will see you again next time.